I'm so glad it's April and winter's over now. I'm Joel. This is It's Not You, It's Me. Today we're going to spatchcock a chicken and roast it whole with veggies. Spatchcock. S-P-A-T-C-H-C-O-C-K. Spatchcock. Yeah, we're going to rip the spine out of the chicken.
You're going to keep the chicken spine?
Absolutely. Of course. First thing we're going to do is we're going to make an herb butter. So I've got like 4 tablespoons of butter and like a tablespoon or 2 of bacon fat here. Some minced garlic. Yes, I am using the minced garlic that you buy in a jar because then we also have some fresh parsley. Chop it up as fine as you can. And then we're going to mix all this together. If you don't have lemon juice, like we don't, we're just going to use some Riesling instead because it's like acidic and bright and kind of does the same thing. Sort of. It'll be fine. Because I'm a sane person, I save all of my bacon fat after I make bacon and I keep it in this jar. I mean, anytime you need fat, you got a jar of bacon fat. I'm done here. You're going to want to make sure your butter is soft before you start doing this, otherwise it's really hard to mix everything together. So I just pop this in the microwave for like 20 seconds, and I'm going to throw it right into this bowl of parsley right here. Add our butter to our parsley. Then I'm going to add the minced garlic. A lot of garlic. And we're going to stir it all together. That smells amazing. That smells so good. Just want to live inside of here. Now that that's all stirred together, I'm going to grab some white wine. This is Riesling, according to the bottle. Nice and citrusy, a little minerality to it. So I'm going to just throw like a tablespoon-ish into this butter mixture. Buy your wine at Leon and Son. I'm going to add a few cranks of black pepper. Oh, you need more? You already drank half a bottle before we started shooting, but... Oh! Preheating our oven to 425 degrees. It's time to slice this bird up. Here goes nothing. I like to put gloves on. Just means I have to wash my hands a little less frequently, and I won't have chicken gunk all up in my fingernails and get salmonella. Second thing, poultry shears. Highly recommend you get yourself a pair of these. If you have like a really heavy chef's knife or like a cleaver, you're good to go. But if you just got like a dinky little cheap knife like I do, you want these ones. And put it breast side down. We're going to cut on either side of the neck and the tail and just remove the spine from the chicken. So I'm going to start over here, just to the side of the vertebrae. And we're going to cut pretty easily, just going to snip through all these bones in the rib cage. Again, trying to avoid cutting through that spine. And then again over here. And we have our spine. We're going to switch to our knife. We're going to go right here along the inside of the breastbone. And we're just going to push down with our knife until we hear a little crack. And that's just to kind of separate the breastbone a little bit so that when I flip it over, we'll be able to lay the chicken out flat. The next thing we're going to do is dry off the skin of our chicken. because if it's wet when it goes in the oven, the skin won't come out as crispy. Grab some paper towel and just kind of pat dry the skin of the chicken.
Just like it's like changing a diaper.
So next up, I'm going to pull the skin up a little bit, and there's a little membrane under the skin, kind of between the meat and the skin, that we're going to tear so that we can have a layer, an open layer between the skin and the meat to put our herb butter into.
So on the breasts, we're going to start up here at the front, and you can kind of see right here this membrane. If we grab onto that and start to pull with our gloved fingers, and this is easier with gloves because you get a little more traction, we can start to peel that away from the meat of the chicken.
From this angle you can see I can just sort of run my fingers underneath the skin. We're going to do this on every part of the chicken that we can. From behind here, I can kind of reach a finger in and get onto the drumsticks. So I'm just going to kind of pinch the skin here, put my finger in, and get onto that drumstick. You can lift the skin up right here, right where we were cutting the spine out. And that should just slip right in, very easy. We're going to repeat that again for the other side. Delightful. So, we're going to take some fingerfuls of this. I know it looks kind of gross, but it's going to taste amazing. If you could smell it, you wouldn't be grossed out. And we're going to lift that skin flap up that we created earlier. And we're just going to throw our bacon, butter, herb mixture right in there.
And make sure you try to do this in a way that ensures that anyone watching would be incredibly uncomfortable.
And we're going to go extra generous on those breasts. Just put a big old lump in at the end, whatever you have left. We're also making sure, as you can see, that the outside of the bird is pretty well covered in this fat herb mixture as well. Next up, veggies. I've got Brussels sprouts, carrots, and potatoes. Any kind of potato will work. Any kind of root vegetable will work. All I did to the Brussels sprouts is I chopped the stems off and then I cut them in half. Carrots, I've just got some kind of finger-sized pieces. Doesn't really matter. Quartered potatoes. Made them nice and cute and bite-sized. We're going to take some olive oil. We're just going to drizzle some of this over top of the veggies, toss it together, and then that's going to go right into the pan as our base layer. We're going to put our chicken down first, and we're just going to set him right in the bottom of the pan. All of our herb butter. Don't want to waste any of it.
I'm also going to tuck the wings, just the tips. Just kind of have to like finagle it until it sticks underneath the body of the chicken, just like that. Just gonna make them cook a little bit more evenly.
I'm just gonna kind of toss these in here, all surrounding our beautiful bird.
You want to make sure that as much of the skin of the chicken is exposed as possible so that that can crisp up too. Mama, look at that mammoth channel.
We do have to let this sit for a few minutes. And then I'm going to quarter it, and we're going to eat it. Here we go.
Scooch them on over there. Now we're gonna chop this thing up. Oh, wow. So we now have 2 breasts, thigh and drumstick, wings. So it's nice and tender, so I'm just gonna kind of pull the meat away from the bone. So make sure you get all of your rib bones out. There we go. Gotta sample the layers. Seriously, it's just like the juiciest, most tender white meat I've ever had.
Dope.
Good.
Go eat some chicken, you dingus.